Thanks for this chance to talk to you. And I want to put it in the context of synodality. As you know, it's a word that we've heard so much about over the last 3, 4, 5, maybe even more years. And it's caught the imagination of people. It means something about walking together, about being on a pilgrimage, being a pilgrim people, about listening to everybody, and about growing in that capacity. But the basic meaning, I think, is it's a church that walks together, a church that's more humble, a church that's a pilgrim church, and that listens to the voices of everybody. So that's synodality in itself. But the next thing is, how do we make that actually happen? There's a desire for this kind of church, but how do we make it happen? How do you make it happen? What steps will you take to make it happen? We thought about this here in the Jesuit Curia in Rome. And in fact, we were getting a lot of different requests from organizations, groups, parishes, dioceses, religious congregations. A lot of requests. And most of them we had to say no to just because we were so busy. So on the one hand, huge interest in synodal processes of discernment. And on the other hand, not enough people to guide those processes, to facilitate those processes. And I remember talking to Father General about this one day. I normally meet him on a Friday when he's in town. And I was sharing this with him. And he said, okay, this is serious. I hear you. Let's start a project where we train people who can facilitate discernment processes, where we train people who can accompany parishes, schools, boards, all of that, dioceses, other congregations. Let's start a process. Let's start a process of training. So he gave me that mission. And by extension, I'm kind of giving you this mission now to help us in that process. First step is this year, 2025. We're having a major meeting in Spain, in Salamanca, of about 95, 100 people from all over the world, Jesuits, lay people, religious, diocesan priests. And they're all people already who have a good experience of discernment and facilitating discernment. So this first meeting, it's kind of a pre-meeting, is where all these experts come together and they'll share what they do. And every culture has some extra little thing to bring, like the German ways of facilitating processes, the Italian ways, the French ways, the Spanish ways, the Australian ways. There's all little differences, little different types of processes because of our cultures. Such a richness. So the idea is they'll come together, they'll share, they'll learn from each other, but before they go from Salamanca, they will make a plan. Where do we need training in our groups to become facilitators? Who do we want to be facilitating our church and our province going forward? Do young Jesuits need this training? Younger lay people, older lay people? It's all open. It's all for you to decide and think about with the provincial. So I'll leave that with you. I think it's an exciting question to think about, because when you think about what we're going through in the world at the moment, the polarization, the hatred, the killing of people, the discourse that's so contaminated, you have to say, this movement of spiritual conversation, this movement of discernment, this movement of synodality, we really have something to offer that the world is crying out for. Thank you.